And now I want to give the floor to Municipal Director for Community Development in Bærum Municipality, Wøhni. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Could I get my presentation? Thank you for yesterday. It was lovely to meet you, and we had a fine reception. And I hope you get secure back in the bus in the darkness of the night. Yeah, black. I'm going to make a presentation about the area which we are located in, Fornebu area, and it's a brief introduction in the topic of transforming a former airport to a new city, and I will also, in the end of the speech, take some challenges which you could take with you in the further discussions, and also when you tomorrow are going to a field trip in this area. Let me see. Yeah. Oh. It's too... I have to learn how it's Kan du trykke på meg, du? Yeah. This is just a brief view where you're located. It's very close to Oslo city. We are at the border of Oslo, and we are the neighboring municipality. As we mentioned yesterday, 126,000 inhabitants, and located in the metropolitan area. Next. Fornebu, which was the main airport until 1998, 20 years ago, where the land was owned by the state and the Oslo city, because the Oslo city, it was the airport for the city, and after the war it was taken over by the state, but the land ownership belongs also to the Oslo city. We had very high ambition for the municipality, for the city development here, and we also we was far in front when in environment goals in the 1990, early 2000. It's obviously a part of the municipality of Bærum, and briefly, a lesson learned, it's not always, even if you have the land ownership on the state and the Oslo municipality, it's not easy in cooperation with public bodies. Here we have the air photo of the airport in early in the 1999. We are located in this, approximately here, and you see the airport. And the next, that's today. Nearly the same perspective. We have some huge business corporation headquarters, and we have some early building sites, and we will also be building more in this area, which now is part of a park structure, but also building lots waiting for to be developed. Next. This is some figures of the Fornebu, 2 kilometers in diameter. It's a huge area, but yes. Yeah. Next. Some pictures of what has been built. It's in the first years, 10 years, it was mainly business corporation buildings, because it was a setback for the ordinary buildings, for homes and so on. But that has been speeding up the last 5 or 6 years. Yep. Our main topic is now we are going to replan the Fornebu area. We have a plan in 1999 how to develop an airport to a urban structure, and now we are making a new plan after 20 years of how to modernize the plan from 1999. And what is called Municipality Area Plan number 3 for Fornebu in next 20 years. We have to discuss a higher area utilization, building more flats on the area which is designated to flats. Oh, it was quite... back again. Back again. There. We have a new thing is that it is not decided to be the metro line from here until the main structure of the metro in Oslo. So it will be 12 minutes from the farm outer metro station to the city center of Oslo. So we will be connected with high frequency and high capacity metro line. But the metro line has to be co-financed by grants from the landowners, which is the logic. The metro line, you make it possible to build more dense, and that give you more revenue or profit, and you have to be some of the profit which will be located back to the finance of the metro line. So it is a private and state finance metro line system. Yeah, we have to know how sustainable. Fornebu area is part of our climate strategy, which is based on the county strategy. We have our own for the municipality, but they are harmonized in many ways. But we have a goal, a very bold goal for our area, which is should be a zero emission area by 2027. That don't mean that isolated Fornebu is zero emission at that year, but we are on the way to a zero emission society. And we are doubling, we think nearly doubling, which the plan today says 6,300 flats, and we are discussing to double that to nearly 1,100 flats or homes. And that should be brought by with we're going to have a new plan which should make this happen. Next. Yeah, this is briefly the metro line, which is the castle and the Oslo system, and then we go. Here is the border between Bærum and Oslo, and the metro line will go back here to the end with also as a base. Metro is not cheap; it's very expensive things. So it's a real challenge to get money to build this. Next. Yeah, in some of the planning discussion we have here is that if you walk around here, you will see that this area is characterized by buildings in landscape, big corporation buildings in a park system, and also flats and living homes in blocks, but mainly buildings in landscape, and that is a challenge to build a city, because a city is defined by the interesting area between the buildings, not the buildings as themselves, but what happened between the buildings. And you will experience tomorrow that is not working very well here. So we have to make a new concept for the development, and that concept is that in the area where the metro line is coming, we are saying this is a dense urban structure, which is we call a city, and surrounding the park system is a semi-dense urban area, and this here is far from the metro line, or far, 500 or 600 meters, is more rural system or lower density. Yes. Next. Yeah, that's. We are from discussing these huge areas. One area we're discussing is as 3 different structure: the city, the park, and the more rural or urban mix between rural and urban. Yes. We have to link it together as one area, but an area with variation of density. Housing must define public street and city space, which is not working very well today. And the main street through this area, which has a kind of boulevard identity, how to restructure that to be a more city street-like thing. Yes. And variation of building structure is important. We have in an old plan, I think it's fair to say that we stress the harmonization, that the height of the building should be exactly like, the color of the building should be harmonized, but we know, thinking that its variation is a good thing in itself. What is characteristic cities who is living, thriving, pleasant cities is that it's variation, and we have to make more variation, height, in color, in texture, structure, and scale. Next. Yeah. What's wrong with colors? This is fair decent, but they are a little dull, isn't it? So we are going to say that maybe the architecture ideal of harmonized and some should be challenged, more color. Yeah. Ja, der kom det en liten. This is from Malmö, Sweden, which is, we have been on field trips and study. This is one of the famous area for Malmö Bonulet. So with variation in color, in structure, in height, and also making a very pleasant city to live in. Yes, next. We have some challenge. We should be a zero-emission neighborhood by 2027. And I should also mention how to make a dance floor, how to engage in dance. This is a practical deal. Yeah, next. The emission for Fornebu is that we should be zero emission. How to make that? We are in a area context. We are very good. I think we have much practice in building zero emission houses, even plus house, which is making more energy than they use over a lifetime. But as an area, we have not been discussing that very much, because that also involves the habits of the people who live there. Yeah. This is just a brief taste of what we are working with. We have to challenge the inhabitants' way of life. Yeah. I try to take it quite. Key questions, I'll let it hang there as a challenge. We have to deal with this. And we don't have the answers, but I think partly because of, or in this SmartEdge context, we want to address this and learn from what you have achieved of results in some of these topics. Next. Public planning and uncertainty is it's a huge topic, especially over transport. What will autonomous cars, what will electrified cars, what will the next generation of transport mean for the planning? Next. With autonomous vehicle, that means that everyone get a car which drives you to work, and then it drives back again without you. Then it will multiply cars on the roads, and I think that isn't the answer. Or will it be integrated with the more public transport system? And I have quoted some person that is more wise than me. He said that the last person to obtain a driver license are already born. Think of that. Next. Yeah, this is a huge topic. As a planner, we are making regulation and zone plans and the physical elements of the city. But the city is the people living there. That I call software versus the hardware, which is the planning and the physical structure. And we have to learn how to build successful living places. Is a mix of how to deal with software and hardware in the planning. Next. And participation. That will my colleague Wøhni will give you a more discussion of how we deal with participation in Bærum Municipality as a whole and in Fornebu, especially tomorrow. Wøhni, could you rise? You will meet him tomorrow. Yeah. And one great topic to be very last. The challenge of planning and not compatible with the organization of planning. What does that mean? Next. That means that the area of the functional Greater Oslo area is divided in the Oslo Municipality and then 20 plus municipalities. That is the functional area which is divided in municipalities. And it's also divided in regional structure as the county. The county of Akershus is not Oslo, it's the neighboring municipalities. And you have the state level. Next. Yeah, that's this is the commuting picture of the commuting that the west region, which we are a part of, and you have the two other regions surrounding Oslo. We have great commuting both to Oslo and from Oslo. Municipal, yeah, and then. The Norwegian planning system, I have said, is it top down or bottom up? I don't know. I think I have some. Yeah. We are in a multi-level planning system. I quite proudly to say that comprehensive municipal planning is maybe the one place where a part of the totality or holistic view are present. I will say that the county and state level are not holistic in their planning approach. They are sector, the state are extreme with the ministerial sector bodies, but also the county level are not holistic enough in the planning approach. We are not good enough here, but in many ways this is the only place where it is a partly holistic, comprehensive planning. But the municipality don't have the resources or the responsibility. We have the responsibility for the physical land use planning, but we have not the responsibility for the traffic system or the collective system. And then the transport and the land use are divided on two separate bodies. That's a challenge. Next. Yeah, I think it comes. Next. This is, yeah, that is the last one. That's a part of being a planner. You think you get something, and yeah, the result is not always the same. Thank you for me.
Thank you very much.